All right, so today we're gonna talk about, I'm trying to pretend like that and take forever. We're gonna talk about moving slower. What do I mean by that? Slow down your movements. And the reason I'm thinking about this is because Brian here, the filmer, was trying to backside 50-50 stall on the quarter pipe. Wait, is the backside or front side? Yeah, backside 50-50 stall. And so my biggest thing that I saw he was doing or wasn't doing was slowing down the movement. He was just kind of trying to turn and land on the 50 right away. And so I was like, instead of telling him that, because this one was too high for him to feel comfortable, I was thinking, okay, what would I tell him? Like, where would we take a step back and then work on first so that he's confident with going up to that quarter? And what I thought about was pretty much just slowing down his turns. Because really, when we do a backside 50-50, check this out. It's kind of like a delayed kick turn. And what I mean by that, this is a kick turn. Alright? And so what I'd have him doing, or just someone who eventually wants to go do backside 50s, is pretty much just practice turning on ramps much slower. So we'll even start on something like this, right? So notice how the top half of my body turned first before I kind of set or move the board with the leg. That's what's gonna be constant in every ramp I go to, and do the same thing, a delayed kick turn. Delayed kick turn. Now to this one. So on all of them, the top half of the body is turning first. And if that still doesn't feel comfortable after so much practice of that, I want you to just practice doing a stall onto how would I say, like a ramp with a sharp edge like this. So really all we're practicing is the timing, right? But this remains constant, turning first and then slowly moving your leg so that the board lands into the 50 stall. And so just like that, you want to just repeat that, and be able to control how you're centered over the board. So in other words, if I'm going onto that 50 stall, but I'm leaning kind of out of the ramp this way, then we still need a lot of work to do. I need to make sure that my body, my weight, is centered right over the board when I land, so that I know I'm prepared to go onto the quarter pipe with that 50 stall. Because if I get onto the 50 stall like this, but my weight is sticking out, that leaves a lot of room, a lot of risk opens up, right? Or a lot of risk is present. Not saying you can't do it like that. Oh, Lord. Not saying that it's not possible. It's just you run the risk of more damage pretty much if it goes wrong. And so we want to make sure that we're able to get on there straight, like where their weight centered straight down, so that we have control and maximal like stability, so we can decide to go roll in. And so just to review real quick, you want to turn the top half of your body first as you're doing kick turns to practice, and do them on different like sizes of ramps, different slopes, different angles. And once that becomes super comfortable and you can slow down your kick turn, I want you to find a ramp like this where there's a sharp edge and practice that timing. And then once that timing gets improved, I want you to really be intentional about keeping your weight centered right over the board, right? And so those three things slowing down the kick turn, timing and centering the weight is really gonna help you when you're going to trying to 50 on the quarter right there. And the next thing that I'd get super comfortable with, if you can't stall onto a quarter, is just doing this, right? And then slowing down the stall up there so you get comfortable making sure your weight is centered over the ramp. It's not on a 50 stall, but it's the same. It's a very similar feeling, except with the back foot. You have to feel that with the back foot. Right now, because it's my front foot over it, I'm mostly over the front foot, right? And so, as long as we have that point of reference where our weight sits over the front foot, we have a better understanding on how we should feel our weight over the back foot as we're going up the ramp, right? I don't know if I can get enough speed. Yeah. So as I'm coming up, look, come closer. Weight's over here, over here, over here. It's down here, like a 5-0. And once I slowly finish the movement with my leg after my body rotates. So I'm here, my body's already rotated, and all I have to do is like put my foot down, right? So once I'm here, then I transfer it over to the front. And pretty much, once you get comfortable having your weight over that back foot, but let's say a lot of us will encounter this problem. We'll get here, and then we'll do this, right? So what that tells you is you're not finishing setting the weight down on that front foot. So all you're doing is staying on this back foot. And so what you got to do is just, your weight has to go over here at the end. So not just end right here, but then finish off. Whoa, I'm here, then just finish off. Ah!
Oh, taking it.
You guys okay?
Yeah.
So basically what's happening there is that my weight is transferring, right? It's going from the front as I go up the ramp to the back as I go small 5-0, and then finishing off on that front foot that I started with. And so those three things, just reviewing the slow movement, kick turn, slow kick turn, for example, the timing, and then the centered weight is gonna get you to a place where you understand that the weight needs to be transferred in two different places throughout the trick, right? It goes from the top as you're rolling up to the back, and then back to the top as you lock into the 50. And once you lock into the 50, that you can actually work on before too, if you're comfortable going into the ramp. If not, you just go back here to this and do this. And so you see how, yes, I locked in, I settled it here, but then I put tension on this back foot so I can lift my board and slowly drop into the ramp. So pretty much, there's so many ways to lock into the 50, but the way I'm always suggesting to do it, and so many others too, is going kind of like on a feeble with your back truck. That way, when you get out, there's less risk to get caught. I feel like that's fair to say, right? So what I'm getting at is when you're stalling, you can start here, but I encourage you to be on the heels or on the midfoot. A lot of people say heels, but I don't know, that feels sketchy, right? To be on the heels like this is sketchy. So I would say go on the midfoot and just push it until your the heel side of the truck is locked on, and whereas the front truck, it's going to be the toe side of the truck that's locked on, right? That's going to give you the maximal stability so that you have control on how you want to drop in, right? Check it out, look at it. And so you can just practice that on any quarter pipe that you have access to. Well, I wouldn't say any, actually. There's some bigger ones. One that you feel comfortable dropping into, right? And like I said, it's super important to lock in this way because you control the speed. Like there's no need to be here and then quickly slam your weight down. You slowly should transfer, right? Or it should slowly drop in. Let me go here. Slowly drop in. Midfoot. And what I mean by midfoot is this part right here of the foot. A lot of people say heel lock, but I think it's just because that's how it looks, but that's not what you're supposed to feel when you're locking in. So, how much time do we got?
10 minutes.
You got 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is pretty much just kind of give you three different ways that you can, three different ways I see people doing 50 stalls, right? And where you can go from there. So let me show you the first one. Oh! I got scared. Right there, I missed the furniture. So that one, if you can see in the video, I'm not too sure because you're kind of sideways, is where I'm sticking out a bit. My weight isn't fully committed onto the quarter pipe. And you'll probably do that the first time around, but you just want to know that in order to really settle in over the ramp or over that quarter, you want to make sure that you're slowing down the movement because you're rushing to turn. You want to get up there first and then turn in. So let me show you that. You got to get up and then turn. And so at the very, like things that could happen there is you're up there. You're up here and you can't reach this. And so what you do is go here. Man, that's loud as hell. That's so loud. So even if you do that, there's no problem. You're still getting comfortable setting your weight over the top. So let me show you the third way people would go about doing so. So basically, I'm just trying to show you that people try to grind it before they're comfortable. People try to grind the distance before they're even comfortable setting their weight in, and I'm guilty of this too. So if I were to tell my older self what to do first, is really get comfortable settling the weight over the rail. Right? Okay. Over. Cool. So once you get comfortable setting the weight, then you should go the distance. And something I will always also say, when you're up here on the step before, think about feeling your hips engaging so that you have that ability to stay in on top of the quarter pipe, right? Because if you're just straight up and you lean slightly forward towards your toes, you could risk slipping, right? So if you feel like it's hard to hang on, just bring your butt back, basically. I mean, I would say bring your hips back, but other people are like, oh, bring your butt back too, so we'll keep it at that as well. Or does that make sense? You think that makes sense?
Yeah.
So just to review, slow down the kick turns. You want to time the kick turns a bit better, and also learn how to settle your weight over the ramp. And so what I mean by that, again, is you don't want to be going up the ramp. This is your body, pretend. You don't want to be going up your ramp slightly slanted. Sorry, you want to go up the ramp like this the whole time. So you can use your board just for more clarification. You don't want to do this where you stay straight over the board. You want to do this. Instead of over here, right? Anyways, it's hard for me to grab both. But
Just do one right now. Do two.
okay.
All right, I get it from the side. I'll get it from the side.
Saving it. Damn, I'm landing too straight up. Okay. Low. Wow. Honestly, I'm like staying back here. But point is, your weight. I'm talking about the weight, right? Talking about the weight. Nah, I need to do a good one. Right here, I'm gonna settle the weight. That one wasn't good, huh?
No.
Can't land any of them. What the? Okay, I'm not gonna let the ego get the best of me. So I'm just gonna stop there. But what you can take away from that is that as long as you're over the quarter, like centered right over the board instead of slanted, you're in a much better position than you would be if you're slanted. Because as the ramp or the bowl or whatever you're skating that has coping, the bigger that gets and the more you build that habit of getting slanted, the riskier it becomes to skate quarter pipes and all these things, right? Because you always want your weight to be straight over your board. Always. There's always exceptions. You know, you see street spots where someone has to grind something slightly slanted, or if you're skating a curve rail or a bowl, you know, they slightly slant in. But for the most part, you want to be centered over the board. And so, having said that, that's gonna be the video. Hopefully you got something good out of that and you eventually get to do backside 50/50s. Let me know in the comments what I can elaborate on, what else you would want to see in here, and I'm gonna do this one more time. Damn.
Oh no.
But you see how my hips are in here? They were like
Yeah.
this. I'm just tired, guys. Had a long day. I need to do it again. It's back. I'm like overthinking it. But how'd that look?
I don't.
I feel like I was centered over that one. Like instead of it being straight, I was like this.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's okay. I mean, you guys get the point, right? But yeah. Till next time.